In Nigeria, culture manifests in the form of arts, music, language, literature, governance, and even the environment.
Of course, and since you know by now that culture is a way of life of the people, it gives us great pleasure to welcome you to yet another revealing episode of our Nigeria, where we will be showcasing a very interesting expression of our heritage as a people. My name is Ijeoma and
And I'm Nasiru Umar. Please stick around for this one.
Nigeria has an artistic tradition that dates back thousands of years. Now, while much of the country's early art had a religious or spiritual significance, many of the traditional arts and crafts have evolved over time to include practical and decorative items.
Yes, they also serve as prized objects for the promotion and preservation of tourism. First off, on our lineup, Hope Spotlight Painting as an artistic expression which has been in practice for a very long time.
Painting is the practice of applying paint, pigment, color, or other medium to a solid surface. The medium is commonly applied to the base with a brush and other implements such as knives and sponges. Painting is a mode of creative expression and it has been in existence since 30,000 years. Painting can be achieved in numerous forms such as drawing, gesture, composition, narration, abstract among others. The art of painting can be naturalistic and representational, as in still life or landscape painting. A portion of the history of painting in both Eastern and Western art is dominated by spiritual motives and ideas. In art, the term painting describes both the act and result of the action. The support for paintings includes such surfaces as wall, paper, plaster, canvas, and wood, even though it may incorporate multiple other materials. Painting is also used outside art as a common trade among craftsmen and builders. Elements of painting include color and tone. Color and tone are essence of painting as pitch and rhythm are the essence of music. Color is highly subjective but has observable psychological effects, although these can differ from one culture to the next. Most people go into painting because of their passion for it, but not all people like painting. For those who do, there may be different reasons for that.
I have the natural ability. Nobody taught me how to draw or how to paint. I have the natural ability right from the beginning. From there, I don't want to study arts, but since I have the natural ability, I went to NC. For NC, I went to do my degree in ABU. So I wanted to do painting in MBU, but they refused to give me painting. I did sculpture. I can sculpt very well. But when I finished from ABU, I didn't sculpt again. I go back to painting.
Painting is a form of expression. If done right, it can show plethora of emotions. Each color has a significance and sometimes people express their thoughts through paint rather than words. Science has it that painting can help us reduce stress and may develop happy hormones. Some people are simply good at it. They therefore do it because it's their talent which develops into a hobby. However, culture and traditions are not left out. As the saying goes, culture is a way of life and human beings affect their values through various forms of art. and cultural activities. The art and culture of Nigeria embodies the various images of the Nigerian way of life, combined with the magnificent history of the past.
If you look at these paintings here, I paint mostly on African culture, Nigerian in particular, Nigerian culture, our landscape and our culture. That's what I paint. You can see this one here now. This is a man coming from farm, happy going home on his bicycle with his wood in a village setting. Those motifs you see here, they are African motifs, signs and symbols. I use it as a background of my painting so that wherever this painting goes, this is not just a painting coming from an artist, it's a painting coming from an African artist in Nigeria. So wherever I go, once they see this, they know that this painting belongs to Oluwani Shomi as the artist. So I use this symbol to make my work look unique, different from every other painter's work, so that I put it behind my work, then I paint on it.
One of the major aspects of Nigeria's art and culture lies in the fact that they draw their inspiration from the traditional folk and heritage. Among the numerous forms of painting, we have the landscape painting. It is also known as landscape art, which entails depiction in art of landscapes, natural scenery such as mountains, valleys, trees, water, hut and forest.
If you are traveling, anything I see, I used to admire it. I'll register it in my brain. So anytime I'm ready, I sit down, I put them down in my canvas. Like all these my landscapes, it's imaginative. I didn't copy it, I didn't look at it at anywhere. It's what I've seen on the road. Look at this thing. If you are going around that Lokoja side, you see something like this. Houses, water by the side.
In other words, landscape backgrounds for figures can still form an important part of the work. Sky is always included in the view, and weather is often an element of the composition. Landscape views in art may be imaginary or copied from reality with varying degrees of accuracy. Truly, painting is one fascinating thing that one can truly desire, and it forms a major part of Nigeria's art and craft.
A program that showcases Nigeria in all its entirety.
From northeast, southeast, and north central part of Nigeria. It is a program that brings you different aspects of Nigerian life.
Name it, everything you need to know about Nigeria, you can be sure will be captured at one time or another here on the program.
In any city planning, there are provisions for basic social amenities.
Communication is one area where modern technology is most important.
This is our Nigeria. My name is Ijeoma Okoronko.
And I am Nasiru. Umar, you want to stick around for this one.
Another age-long art representation is the adire, which is a form of tie and dye. Now this art is practiced more in the western part of Nigeria, and Emeka is our guide on this one.
Since the inception of man, man has been with arts and crafts. That is to say, art and craft have been part of man. Hardly you will see any society that does not practice one form of art or the other. Nigeria, a multi-ethnic society, gives a lot of value to different types of art such as painting, wood carving, grass weaving, metal works, and cloth weaving. Among all these forms of arts, the Adire and Batik are our major focus. Adire, which is also known as tie and dye, is a textile-resist dye cloth produced and worn primarily by the Yoruba people of the southwestern Nigeria. Adire is common among the Yorubas, especially Eba land in Ogun State. It is believed that Eba Nation is the Adire industry in Nigeria. Adire textile production is considered to be inborn, inherited by birth, and passed on from generation to generation of Adire producing families. However, in recent times, lots of people who may not have inherited the art are involved in Adire production. Close to Adire is the Batik art and craft. Batik is the art of decorating clothes using wax and dye. Batik has been produced for years just like the Adire. The word Batik originates from the Javanese. To make Batik, selected areas of the cloth are blocked by brushing or drawing hot wax on the fabrics.
What I'm doing now is called candy wax batik. A press whereby you spread your fabric on a plain surface. Make sure that there's some little of wax on the table so that it can hold down my fabric. Then I get this foam and I trim it into pencil shape. So here beside me, I have wax on the fire. The wax can be a solid object and also turn to a liquid object, because you can see it now, it's solid. But by the time we put it on the fire and we melt it, it's going to melt and turn to a liquid object. So this foam that I've already trimmed into pencil shape, when I dip it into the wax, then I can use it to do any kind of design I want on the fabric.
Even with the spate of modernization in fashion, the Adire and Batik design have been desired by people because of their uniqueness. Like Adire, Batik are common in southwestern Nigeria.
When looking at this Batik, it's very unique. In any way you see it, maybe in Nigeria, maybe in Indonesia, in India, because every part of the country have their own kind of way they do their own Batik in the country that normally produces Batik. You understand? The Batik is taking over already. The Adire, local Adire we are doing is taking over already. But one thing we must do is that we ourselves that we are producing this local, we have to love what we are doing as well first. We have to project it, because if you don't project it, others won't see it. So most time when I go to the show or some other thing, people became, oh, how can I get it? Where can I get it? People asking me, like collecting my cat and that. That's why I even sell my market and most like that. So because really most time people don't really know where to get it. That's why we encourage some other people to be in the business.
Today, the Adire and Batik are no longer limited to being used as clothing materials alone. They are also being used creatively for other arts of fashion works such as bags, wall hanger, and so on. In the past, Adire and Batik making are considered as a woman's work.
Now that we are trying to take it to somewhere else, because it is a craft. So it may be in you, it doesn't matter whether you're a man or whether you're a woman. But because then, even though if anybody wants to do it, may say, oh, you want to decide doing fabric, oh, it's not women that sell fabric, because they criticize them, they didn't encourage them. That's the reason why.
Without a close watch, one would think Adire and Batik are the same. Well, the striking difference between the two is that Adire is done by tying rope around fabric to create different colors when it is dipped inside the dye, while Batik is achieved by applying wax on the fabrics to prevent dye penetrating the wax area. Having seen the beauty of the Adire and Batik craft, one can only imagine how blessed Nigeria is in terms of art. with what we have seen so far, there is no doubt that Adire and batik crafts are truly unique.
A program that showcases Nigeria in all its entirety.
From northeast, southeast, and north central part of Nigeria. It is a program that brings you different aspects of Nigerian life.
Name it, everything you need to know about Nigeria, you can be sure will be captured at one time or another here on the program.
In any city planning, there are provisions for basic social amenities.
Communication is one area where modern technology is most important.
This is our Nigeria. My name is Ijeoma Okoronko.
And I am Nasiru Umar. You want to stick around for this one.
Now, brass casting is another famous work of art which is coming to limelight, having been discovered in different parts of Nigeria.
Yes, indeed. Archaeological findings have revealed these ancient works of art in Ife, Bida, and Benin. Yahuza tells us more.
Brasswork is one of the traditional occupations of the Nupe people and highly practiced in Bidda. Introduced in the 18th century during the reign of Etsu Usman Zaki. The beauty of Bidda brasswork is the conservative attachment to the traditional bellows. Originally, the products were for home decorations, storage, and cooking, but with the influx of tourists to the town, the production and patronage of brass souvenirs such as bangles, plates, cups, boxes, spoons, kettles, and a host of others have taken a different dimension. When you have the opportunity to witness a traditional wedding in Bidda, you will appreciate the role of brasswork in the life of the people, as it is often said that before you can marry a woman in Bidda, you have to pay a brass price. Popular brass works are found at Bongofu, Swagato, and Swata Mukun area of Bidda town in Niger State. The process of producing brass-made items is also same as blacksmithing, except that the raw material is placed in a special basin, which is also put over fire made by the blowing of bellows heated for some minutes. The molten brass is later beaten into required shapes and sizes over an anvil. The products are mainly used for cooking, storage, and decoration. The ingenuity of this craftsman is always a pleasant sight to behold. Seeing them carry out this craft that has been sustained for generations since inception is indeed a pointer to the fact that Nigerians can hold on to beneficial traditions despite the challenges of modernity. Bidda is indeed a custodian of a rich cultural heritage and beautiful artistry. The commitment of the people in protecting and transferring these artworks from generation to generation, yet unborn, has not only placed the Emirate on the world map, it has also ensured veritable means of livelihood for the people.
We don't want this our craft work in Bidaya to die. That is why our grandfathers, they were trained by their father. Our grandfather trained our fathers, and our father also trained us too. And we also have to train our child too. No matter if you go to school and come back, we have to sit you down, tell you about your culture, know about your tradition, so that at least, and that today, brass work in Bidaya is famously continuously and moving to get the target to the wall.
So when next you find yourself in north-central Nigeria, a trip to this historical city will not only be worth your while, the hospitality of the people and your customized souvenirs will linger your memory for a long time. More so, the view that heritage crafts need support, else the ancient techniques will vanish. So support to the heritage craft will help preserve ancient techniques, encourage skills and entrepreneurship, as well as support the economy. Our country, Nigeria, is indeed blessed.
And that's the size of our package for the week.
And just so you know, painting, adire and brass casting are not the only art and craft found here in Nigeria. Continue to make it a date with us as we promise to unveil more in time to come. Bye for now.